Okay, we're back. It's been a minute or two since I've done one of these. Moved into a new place, had to do a bunch of remodeling. Work stuff has gotten involved. But got a new setup, got it all tuned up. I'm using a new stand mic instead of just the shitty headset mic that we had before. Still have the headset, it's great for other things. Hooked up to a little Alesis Multimix 8 channel mixer, so coming in crystal clear like a real radio show. Today we're looking at South Park: The Stick of Truth, and as usual I have a drink to go along with that. When I was thinking about doing this, I was trying to think of a South Park drink. The only thing I could think of was the Civil War episode where Cartman keeps the Confederate troops going by feeding them s'more schnapps. Unfortunately, s'more schnapps is not a thing that really exists. And also, unfortunately, s'more flavored 3 Olives vodka is something that exists. And just by chance, the liquor store by my house was doing a closeout sale, so I got a bottle of this stuff for about $18, and tastes just like s'mores. It's disgusting, and I've pretty much drank the whole bottle, so it's kind of terrible, but I don't know, there's something really weirdly addictive about it, and I'm drinking some right now. So not really a mixed drink or a drink as much as just a glass of s'more schnapps to keep me going. Alright. I've played through this entire game once, so I have a couple saves here that I'm going to go back and try to maybe pick out some parts that are the best parts to show to give you an idea of the game. As I'm going through, you can sort of see that these are full of the characters and typical things from the show. What's really difficult about doing a game based on any sort of show, TV show or movie or medium that has a strong narrative structure to it that gets its whatever you get out of it from strong narrative is that games, at least I think, and a lot of other people have written about this, are not a great medium for narrative storytelling. They can't be, because there has to be some kind of choice and gameplay. If you're just watching it, a narrative play out, then you pretty much are watching a movie. I mean, obviously there can be some gameplay elements, and it's probably something better for a written article than talking about it, but they've used this framework of kind of a simple RPG, but still one that works as a great way to really get in all the sort of jokes that you see in the show. The game itself kind of becomes the structure where the jokes can play out within it, and provides the opportunity for those jokes. And I played a lot of South Park games, and most of them are super terrible. This is the only one that really has the feel of the show, and it's kind of like playing a 6-hour-long episode. Sort of great in that way. It also has something they've done in the last few seasons where they've created a fantasy element, pretty much a game that the kids are playing, and shown it through their eyes. So you have the parts like here where you can see the kids dressed up using their pretend magical instruments, weapons, so forth, and then at times in the game it's shown through their eyes, like in a lot of the multi-part episodes that they've done in the last few years, going all the way back to the Ninja Weapons episode, where you sort of see what's really going on, and you see it from the imaginative perspective of the students. So just jump into a couple things here. You can kind of get an idea of what this game is. Well, do I want my most recent checkpoint? Let's load my most recent checkpoint, and then I can save it. Sorry about this. Probably should have done this before. Alright. That saved, we can load up something a little earlier on. So this is pretty early in the game. You can just get a quick idea of what it is. You start out as a new kid in town. You're Cypher. You never say anything. You're just sort of there walking around, allowing the rest of the narrative to play out and the jokes to play out around you. As you can see from up here, it's looks exactly like the show. It's pretty amazing how well like the animations and the animation style fits in. As far as the gameplay itself, you have the fast travel points. That's Timmy, which isn't working right now. You have sort of your inventory screen, links to all the people in the town that you've met. This essentially is just a forum for jokes based on the characters. You have inventory. It's sort of a mix between what you pretend they are, like the Mace of Restoration, the Holy Staff, and then actual things in the real world, like Jimmy's crutches or a dodgeball. You have abilities, perks. I mean, it's a fairly basic sort of JRPG style gameplay. Really, though, the gameplay is just good enough that it actually makes the game interesting to play. It's not like the structure of the game is so terrible that you can't really focus on the jokes, and it should have just been an episode because the gameplay is so bad. Let's see if we can go get in a fight so you can kind of... Guess I'm getting yelled at by my parents. There's the kind of thing you get narrative-wise. Let's load one a little further on where we can just go fight some people. Alright, here we are. Attacking this school. See if we can find... As you can see, it's pretty much like an episode. So we'll attack Cartman. When I originally played the game, I attacked Kyle. Alright. So as far as the combat goes, you have abilities. You can use items to level up. We'll do a speed potion. You have your distance weapon, you have your close weapon, you have magic, which is just various kinds of farting. So we'll use one of his weapons. We'll go and circumcise Cartman. And these are timing based, which has been kind of popular lately. Give his dick a slash, causes bleeding damage. I mean, it's nothing super advanced, but it's just enough to keep you interested in the actual gameplay while the story goes on around you. Same with the defense. If you timing attack on the blocks, which I did a terrible job of right there, that's fine. Do another Use another ability here. Oh, he was immune to that, so he has status effects too. And now he's gonna dump some ice on me apparently, which I didn't block because I'm really terrible at the blocking. Alright. Let's have some mana potion, try one of the mana attacks. Alright. We tricked him with our sneaky fart throwing. There's a lot of these sort of quick time event sort of things during the battle where you have to push a button or click on time too, so it makes it a little bit more interesting. A lot of that will happen when you're fighting some sort of boss and you get right to the end of the attack. Alright, we'll load up another little scenario here so you can see it. Wouldn't be a South Park game without a long-running abortion joke. There's a little thing with some Nazi cows. This would also be a good opportunity to show you some of the other commands. So some of the time you got buddies that can go with you. The alien probe, you have the underpants gnome, so you can use the underpants gnome, shrink down, solve some puzzles. You can also do things like sort of environmental things, so now that's electric. You can kill him that way. Or you can throw the basketball. Make a noise. Alright. Don't want to show too much, but just know that don't worry, there's Nazi zombies. And you have to give Randy a fake abortion. One of the other things that South Park does well besides parody, besides satire, because this is parody, they do a great job of parodying certain things. So here's the Canada section of the game, which is sort of a top-down, 16-bit SNES style game. You clearly still have the same graphics, but the rest of it has been turned into sort of 16-bit, except for the creatures. They're still kind of the paper-looking thing, but it's got the sounds. Once you're in it, it's this top-down, very 16-bit, which in and of itself isn't that innovative, since a lot of games have kind of done this style lately, but it works perfectly for Canada because the Canadians in the game are all completely linear in how they're drawn. They got the square hands, they got the rectangular legs, they got the flappy heads, so it's more thought out than just having it be something random like this. You got Canadian stuff, you got to use the Canadian money, switch your money out. Other than this, the gameplay really doesn't change. You do have random encounters when you run into these creatures that are running around, but there's a lot of nice little sort of details that you wouldn't see in a lot of games, where everything below Canada at the bottom of the screen there still looks like a high res Google map, and then you get up to Canada and it's all in the 16-bit. It even has a little boat thing here if we can get over past Winnipeg and get past this wolf. Get some craft dinner. I really enjoyed this. I have not played a ton of old school JRPGs. I have played a lot of old school RPGs, but they were almost exclusively computer RPGs, Ultima, those kind of games. But this was probably one of my favorite games of the year in 2014, and probably has to do a lot with my enjoyment of South Park and the humor that's in it, that I really liked playing through this game. But it was enough gameplay and enough of a challenge to make it so that I wasn't bored. It wasn't just running from one thing to the next thing just to see this next joke that was coming up. There was enough content and enough action in the battles. I never did any. I did a bunch of the side quests, but never did really any of the random encounters. I did level up pretty quickly. You get to 15, which is the max level, probably sooner than I would have liked. You can't max everything out. The abilities, I think I unlocked one more ability or ability level by the end. The perks, you get 6 of these altogether that you can choose which one to do. You get one more magic. It would be nice to go back through like on a New Game Plus or something and be able to get more of these, although they don't really matter. I played on the normal difficulty and it was never much of a problem with that. But overall, it was a surprisingly well done game. As far as combination of game structure, being able to represent what's best about South Park, it's not Yo-Noid, where it makes absolutely no sense in the context of what this thing is in real life, or the hundreds of other games where the gameplay has literally nothing to do with what the show's about. Sort of doing it in this RPG and then having the narrative structure and framework of the kids playing really a game be the game worked out really well. This probably wasn't the funniest video I've ever done, because it's hard to make jokes about something that's a joke, but this is as good as a okay episode of South Park. There's some really sort of great moments in here, and probably one of the best movie or TV show games that I've ever played. So highly recommend it if you have any interest in South Park or any interest in kind of old school RPG style games, and really it's just sort of fun to see humor actually done well in a game. Humor and narrative, the two things that games do the worst, this game pulls off. So we'll be doing a lot more videos soon. Now that I got my setup going, I'm going to have some of my friends, so it's just not me talking. I think it's a lot more interesting to do these when you have, two people. Could play off each other a little bit. Also going to be doing some stuff with my girlfriend on here. She really doesn't play any games at all. I mean, a couple. Mostly some dumb thing on her phone where she's dressing up runway models or something, but I thought it'd be fun to kind of have her talk about games, especially when she doesn't know that much about them. So we'll be doing some new things. Probably hoping to do 1 or 2 of these a week from now on, so look for more of these in the future. Thanks. Bye.